Welcome to the podcast, folks. This is You've Got an Hour with Adam Griffin, and today we have a very, very special guest, honestly iconic. You haven't seen her in years, but you have thought about her in your dreams. Now, whether they were positive or negative dreams is neither here nor there. The star of Twilight, that vampire series that we all know and love, whether you're Team Jacob or Team Teresa Giudice. I'm not talking Kristen Stewart. I'm talking about Kristen Stewart's baby. I'm talking about that doll. That doll. You remember her? Renesmee or whatever. I Googled it. I didn't know that offhand. She was pregnant with her for 28 days, and out came this American Girl doll gone all the way wrong. Anyway, we couldn't find that doll, but what we could find is my friend Shelby Daniel, and she's going to tell us where that doll is because she does know. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Central Time. You're in Central Time, right?
Yes.
Okay, what if I had gotten that wrong and I just made up where you are? Who the
I'd be like, wow, great research on your guest.
Yeah.
Wait, I think you muted yourself. You're cutting out.
I have to do it through the computer. I'm gonna be pissed. You can hear that?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I got this fucking snowball mic, and you have to it doesn't plug in organically. I had to get from the TikTok shop a way to plug in. So we're just gonna ignore that. We're gonna get rid of it. Now you can see my face. It's gonna sound so much worse. Everyone listening is gonna hate my voice, but they already do. So that's the whole point. Take two. What are the nails today?
They're like kind of a creamsicle, so they're like a light orange, and they've got little like a glazed sort of iridescent coat on top. So
Yes.
like they look like ice cream dripping.
They do. They're like vampire core, but they are summer.
Always. It always has to look like a vampire tooth, but on my fingers.
Yes, they do, because you're my Twilight queen. Did you know immediately when you were watching Twilight that you loved it? Like, what was the process like on that? Because you're like a fan.
Yeah, like I'm actually part of the fandom, but I was at a slumber party for my friend's like 16th birthday, and like the movie had just come out on DVD, and this is the activity, and I was like, this stupid shit, because she had been trying for like 2 years to get me to read the books. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and literally the moment that blue like screen came on, and then like Robert Pattinson round the corner to the cafeteria, a religious experience. There was a point in time I went out and bought the DVD, and for a point in time I watched the movie, I shit you not, every single day.
Okay, I love that you did that, because I'm unhinged. I did that with Black Swan.
That is what you watched every
Yeah, something's off with me.
out of her back, and
Yes, I loved it. I was like, give me an unhinged mother. Give me like you think you see yourself and you're sort of in love with yourself. Like I was into it. Yours is better. Yours is more healthy.
Speaking of unhinged mothers, I would tell my mom about I would quote lines to her, and because I was like, again, 16 and thought that this was like
From
the most
Twilight.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God, Mom, he told her that she's like his heroine. And my mom's like, you need to stop watching that.
Yeah, it's sort of like a mother's not favorite dream right there.
Oh my God, my susceptible 16-year-old thinks it's cool to do heroin now.
What I really love about it is that you started out thinking you were going to hate it, and it's so up your alley though.
Oh my God, it truly is like you know how everybody is an expert at something?
Yes.
Mine is useless, but it is Twilight. I know everything. I know everything there is to know. Even things that you don't think have explanations, bitch, I know.
I'm so sorry that the microphone sounds like this, first of all. Second of all, get over it. No, not me telling my audience to get over it. But what you will have to actually get over is that you're thinking right now, logically, that the interviewer has wonderful questions for this guest to test their knowledge of Twilight, and you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong in that assumption, because I don't. The only thing that I know about Twilight was the first joke that I did about that doll, because I've never seen Twilight, but we don't address that in this because I'm trying to make my guests very comfortable with the topics at hand. Anyway, moving on. Such a good host. I'm firing my producer. Chris, you never worked a day in your life, Chris Cappuccino, on this, so you're out. You're not getting thanked in the credits anymore. Do you like how I just blamed Chris Cappuccino? She had nothing to do with this in the first place. She's like, why is my name being dragged? Well, somebody's got to be the fall guy, okay? And it's going to be you, my VP. You're out.
Okay, we're gonna play a game, and we'll pivot into it in a second. Pivot, because that's the topic today. But we're not ready to pivot yet. Yeah, that's like also a dance term. I'm showing my Black Swanness here. But tell me, like, what's your favorite character? You can't say Robert Pattinson's character. What is your favorite character in Twilight?
Okay, rude. But
It's so rude.
okay, if I had to pick another one, or okay, are we talking book or are we talking movie? Because
Let's do movie because I've never read the books, and I don't think my audience is reading.
yeah, it's different. It's different for the book than it is for the movie. I would say other favorite character in the movie. Oh, I want to give it to. I'm gonna give it to Carlisle.
Oh wow! I didn't know where we were going with this. Tell me why.
I didn't either.
No.
You know, really, if we're talking about as far as making an entrance, that just backtracking shot of him walking through the hospital doors, like Beyonce's "Crazy in Love" music video, like it was. Like, and the doors just open, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is iconic!" like, like, girl know how to make a scene.
I mean, Carlisle is like low key hot.
Well, here's what I love is that the first movie, like the makeup was like so extreme that like literally they like it was like they had put sour cream on his face.
Yeah, it was like old age makeup out the wazoo, and I'm like, why?
I know, and I just think for some reason it looked the whitest on him, which it looks so unhinged. And I was like, you know what? This one does look like a vampire.
Do you know actually there was bleed over from Memoirs of a Geisha? It was the same crew. No, I'm kidding. That's a bad joke.
Honestly,
I
it was
can't. It was giving. It was, and it was also taking. It was taking and stealing the youth. So, who was your favorite in the book then? Is it Bella?
yeah, Bella's my favorite in the book, but I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not a lip chewing Kristen Stewart fan. And
No.
it can also be personal, but I'm just not. And so like the book Bella is different than the movie Bella. That's what I tell people. What I
Yeah,
get.
no. Everyone always says that, and I'm like, maybe I should read the book because I do like Stewart in some other films, not Diana. She was so bad in that. Did you see that?
No, because I thought that was blasphemous.
No, it was. It was because I was like, first of all, she's not even from Wales.
Give me a girl from Wales.
Yeah, give me. Where's the whale that was in Finding Nemo? I want to hear that. Give me
I
a
want
wig, honey.
I want a literal whale, Shamu, to play.
Shamu! Princess Shamu. Ooh.
Free Willy.
Really does need to be freed. And ew, that sounds sexual. Okay, let's pivot into the game. Enough with the Twilight. We'll probably loop back into it at some point. So the first game we're going to play is something that you came up with when we were coming up with topics. So pretend we're running low on funds and give me a quick half-baked business idea to get rich. It can be something that you've already previously thought of, and then we're going to go off the rails here in a second.
I've considered a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Same. I thought about selling the feet thing, and I was like, I don't even want to see my feet. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so I had this like idea with like another like dear friend of mine where we wanted to be.
It wasn't me. Rude. Blocked. I hung up on Shelby.
Friend, you know the friend, but like we had this idea which was actually hysterical, where we wanted to be like tour guides. But like we wanted to be like Paris and Nicole tour guides.
Oh my god!
We'd have like a little tour. This is like when I was living in Los Angeles, and we would take them around, but like a tour that we kind of like we thought would be fun for ourselves and like doing certain things. But like we're the most like unqualified people to be a tour guide.
Wait, this is brilliant. I would go on this tour.
Right, but also like where were we? Like we didn't even know we were going to take them. We just really wanted people to think we were fun and just walk around saying how funny we were. And so we're like, well, we can be a tour. And but like there's insurance that goes into that.
Yeah, there is.
Gonna go on a boat, someone was gonna drown. Like we also had like an idea of like maybe we could like do jobs, like little jobs throughout the city, and people would be there with us like while we did it. Again, it is really just having like a group of people follow us around. Like we wanted our own reality show.
You did.
Of it being like we're tour guides.
You wanted the simple life, and you want it simply done.
I wish every day of my life was an episode of The Simple Life.
Your life is the simple life. It's just not being filmed.
I know, that's a shame.
It is. It's a real shame. People are really missing out on some quality entertainment. I feel like this is like honestly pre-TikTok days. Like if we were together, we would be filming these for TikTok, and you would be blowing up. This would be viral.
Right. So like I think it's like such a great idea. Like here's the thing. The idea is somewhere in there. Somewhere in that mess, there is actually like pared down is an idea. It's not how we put it together. And we had like a little we had like notebooks, so we write down business ideas.
Mhm.
And like, oh my God, it was so funny. She's married and she would write things down like rose machine and like business names and like fun things for our office that we couldn't even pay for because like we weren't even making money off of this. And she told her husband like I'm business planning, and he said you broke down rose machine, like you're not planning anything.
She really is like the epitome of that song "Daydreamer" by Adele. That's a real throwback.
It's like that's my problem is that if I were to ever have a business, like I couldn't do it alone because I clearly have no business mindset. Like I don't know how anything functions. I don't have anything runs, like nothing. But like I'm a big picture, like oh this is fun, but like someone needs to keep me on the rails, and I'm
Yeah,
always on.
no, I somebody was like, get an LLC, and I was like, for what? What does that even stand for? Let's look for Charlie. Who's Charlie? Like, I don't know what this is. No, I actually do think that is a good idea. I'm gonna make you play cosplay here it for a second. Like, okay, we're at Grauman's Theater. We're at formerly called Chinese Theater. Give me a tour. Tell me some facts.
So that's the problem. We don't have the facts.
No, no,
But
no. That and character as your character that you are. Like,
oh,
give
like
me the Paris. Give me the Paris moment. Here
okay,
we
well,
are.
first of all, we have props, which would mean we would have like
I
if
like that you led with that. First of all, we have props.
we have props. No, and I would like say that that's how I'd say it to them. Like, okay, so first of all, we have props. If you look into the dirt, like you have these handprints, footprints, like someone wrote their name with a finger. Like we're gonna do that today, and like we would have like a little tiny like cement kit, you like in like a litter box, and we would do our own handprints. And these people on this tour would watch us put our like handprints and our feet in like a portable litter box that we were carrying around, and like they could take pictures with it at like Grauman's Theater.
I mean, who doesn't want it? Why don't they have that though? That's like so brilliant.
Half baked idea. But
Half baked. And you know what? It would be fully half baked because you need to actually have the cement literally bake in order for it to set. So,
and then while I was there, I'd be like, if you take your direction this way, you will see where the Twilight cast has their hand and footprints.
wait, who from the Twilight cast has their handprints?
Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, and Taylor Lautner. And the best part is, it was live streaming when it was happening. And this is when I worked as a receptionist, like way back in the day. Like I'm still living in Maryland, and like I worked like at a school slash church. And as like I'm sitting there, I was like had the like volume on like 1%. I'm sitting at my desk like watching this live stream of them getting it done while I'm like in a church office.
What a doll, honey. What a doll. She was ready. She was ready. I can't. What do you think happened to the doll from that? And I'm surprised the doll didn't get handprints also.
The doll is actually, I believe, in a museum at like in like the town that the movie is based off of. I believe that the doll is in like a little like museum there.
Okay, what in the Annabelle is going on there? I can't handle that.
And the thing is, people don't realize that there were multiple dolls, like because they had like CGI a face onto it. So like it wasn't like they were just carrying around like this doll and pretending it was baby. They CGI'd a face onto the doll. So like, but they had like different
Oh my
sizes.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrifying because it was already at a level of scary. And I'm sorry that I introduced you as the doll because you're gorgeous and amazing.
No, really is fitting because like if you look at pictures of this doll, like her hair is not brushed, and like neither
Oh
is
my God. Not the wonky eye. I can't. Um,
the tooth at all.
all of it. Wait, okay, so what's another half-baked idea? Because that was so good, and actually I'm upset at how well done that was.
So I also had an idea, like this is like you and okay, so you know you and I like love like the Real Housewives.
Oh,
Like
please, yes.
so
Are you watching Dubai, by the way? Have you started?
no, I just
Too
I know
many, too many things.
it just didn't grab my attention. It's like the new cast of Roni. Like I just was
Oh
like
yeah, no.
see,
Mm-mm.
here's the thing. My brand of Real Housewives tangent. I'm so sorry, but my brand
No,
of
this is good. This is why we pivot. We pivot, pivot, pivot.
my brand of Real Housewives is like OG Real Housewives. Like I want the embellished tops. I want the women who are selling insurance. Like I want like bad haircuts. Like I don't want glam squads.
Yeah.
I want them living super opulent lives. Like I want them to be in like a like more expensive area, but they're not like royalty. Like because seeing that kind of money, it takes me out of it. I'm like, this is not like anything obtainable. I don't want to watch this. This isn't fun. But like seeing like middle-aged, not young hot women, middle-aged women fighting in bedazzled tops and like not having glam and like the really low blow kind of drama. That's what I want. And I think that's what Housewives needs to return to. And they have not answered any of my letters telling them that I will help them with a rebrand.
How did you send them? Did you send it? Well, what's the equivalent of an owl in the Twilight universe? I don't know. Send them by wolf.
You know what? I no like vampire. They run really fast. It's like
Oh yeah, that's true, isn't it? They're almost like superheroes.
a vampire courier.
A courier, a courier. Yeah, wait, but you like Salt Lake City though, right?
I do like Salt Lake City. Okay, I like this past season of Salt Lake City.
Yes, me too.
It was boring as hell, and also I don't like. It was just like always like wet and cold and like half melted snow, and it just took me out of it seeing that. I always did love Meredith Marks, like, but I was
Me
like,
too.
wanted her on a different. I wanted her in a different city because I was like, she is gold, and I'm so obsessed with her, and she delivers the funniest things I've ever heard in my the rumors, the
The nastiness.
she to me is like she is like one of my favorite like housewives because she's so fun to watch, but I don't think Salt Lake was a great city, but this last season they really did pull it together and I was
They
a fan.
really did. I was so upset that they let go because when they find someone that is so tumultuous and then they let them go after a season, I'm like, why? We're so invested in Monica now. Even though they won't film with her, I'm like, force them to film with her because it's good TV.
I think it's like I think I never like it when there's someone who is so hated by the cast and like and even if you try to force them to film, it's like so awkward and weird.
Yeah, it won't
Like
work. I know it won't, but I wish it would.
I'm not a Monica stan, but it's like kind of like same thing with like even though she had friends on it, like I was so happy when Rinna was not coming back for Beverly Hills because
Me
like
too.
yes, we starting fights, but like Rinna is toxic waste. I loved Rinna when she was with her Ziploc bag of pills.
Oh my
That
God, the pills. That was so us.
that is what I want. Like I want Rinna when she was in Mexico on an exercise bike making a daiquiri. Like that's what I want. And then she turned into like something that was just like, oh God, like my skin crawled every time she came on the screen. And like
You know what? I think the core problem there with Renna, we're really on a tangent now, and I can't wait for Andy Cohen to sue me again. It's AC suing AG. Here we go, 2.0. But I just feel like when they get too invested in the show, when they don't have other things going on career-wise, and this show is their career, that it ruins it for them because they depend on it for a check, and they're like, I've got to really lean in and have a storyline and all this stuff, and it's like, no, we're just sort of filming you. Like it needs to feel like it's not the most important thing in your life.
right. Like I need them to like look at like season 2 of New Jersey, like
Oh,
look at the first 4 seasons of Atlanta. Look at like,
yes.
Roni for the longest time, they were really holding it down. Like the first maybe 5 seasons of Orange County. Like that's what I
Whoop
want.
it up. We got to whoop it up.
Whoop it up.
Okay, this pivots into our next game. Who do you think you are as a housewife? And it can be from any franchise. Usually you and I do like one show at a time, but we don't have time like that. This is you've got an hour, not you've got a year. So, yeah, who do you think you are as a housewife? Because I know who you are.
Well, who do you think I am?
You're the girl from Dallas. I forget her name right now, but she's gorgeous. She's in the first couple of seasons. She's gorgeous. She's Botoxed up. She's
Leanne
like,
Walken?
no, honey, no,
Oh
never.
my God.
No, you're not at the fair. You're not at the circuit. Anyone that hasn't watched Housewives of Dallas, like you're like, what is this? No. She's got like he's like I don't know if he's a plastic surgeon or what he is, but they have that co-owner. Carrie. Yeah, dear Carrie.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I like her a lot. She doesn't
Carrie's
have
comfortable in her body. She's hilarious. She's very sweet. She's the best friend. That's you.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. If I had to say that like who do I think I am? and this is like very much complimenting myself.
Did you hear what I told you? I mean, hello. Yes, we should compliment you all day. You're the best.
I'm like, I think I'm a little more relaxed, but like, I think I like to say that I'm a Nene. Like, I love a one-liner. I love to like remind everyone that I'm here. I mean,
And
I
you don't like a white refrigerator. For the folks at home who can't see, she does not have one.
don't like a white refrigerator. And also, but just like, here's the thing, Nene was like really living with like, she was living realistically until she decided
Yes.
she was a rich bitch. But like, I think that is me. Like, I'm still in my realistic time frame right now. Like, I'm
Give it
not,
a year. Give it a
I'm not
year.
getting my teeth done, even though I need to. And yeah.
I feel like they could hear me roll my eyes at that. Your teeth are gorgeous. But yeah, I could see that. Yeah, you're very funny like Nene, and you should be an actor. So like that storyline could work.
That could
Yeah,
work.
that could work. That could work. I think on a bad day, we could be Kyle and Kim. I had to humble us a little. We were saying too nice of things, you know?
Please, please let me be Kim.
I mean, honestly, we're probably more Erica and Lisa when they're in their prime.
Oh, I think we are kind of Erica and Lisa.
Yeah, I don't know which one is which. We kind of could switch off, to be honest. Who do you think is who?
I think like here's the thing. I have been told that I have black cat energy. You know when people like that thing going around being like golden retriever and the black cat, and like
Okay.
that like I'm the black cat.
Okay,
And
this is how gay I am because I only hear about Bratz core, Polly Pocket core, or Barbie core, and so I didn't. This is new to me. Give me the coven. I don't know anything about this.
like so it's like if somebody like it's like in every duo there's a black cat and there's a golden retriever. Like there's a one that's like
Oh,
and has a lot of energy and whatever, and then there's the black cat who's like just kind of more like bitch. Like that's like kind of a little bit of the like
does that
different.
make me a golden retriever?
Yeah.
You said yeah.
I mean, out of the two of us, you're the golden retriever and I'm the black cat.
Yeah, I'm definitely ADHD, and you're holding down the fort. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
I'm
true.
definitely scratching people.
And I'm like, let's lick the wound.
I think like Erica is the black cat in that.
Yeah.
Like Erica Jane wants to be Samantha Jones so bad,
She
and
really does.
so do I.
Yeah, duh.
But it's black cat energy, so I would think I'm Erica and you're Rinna.
Okay, I could see that. And especially, honestly, the older I'm getting, Shelby, the more I dance like Rena.
Oh God, does your house look like an Olive Garden too?
I mean, look at it. Not really. It looks like Palm Springs had a Timu baby, you know? I really am. I'm starting to like Erica, P.S. Are you starting to like her?
Yes, because I was the biggest Erica fan when she like came on because she like looked like a fembot. She acted like a fembot. Like she was so funny. Like
Yes.
I like loved her, and I was like, this girl. Like it was like 100% made sense to me. Of like, I mean, obviously, like I know they're not together anymore, but it made sense to me her relationship with Tom because I was like, she's not annoying. Like she's not this like arm candy annoying like ditz. Like she's really smart and like really hot, even though she went through her like politician wife looking era that she likes to hide the pictures from.
Yeah, that was rough.
But I liked her a lot. And then I think she just like she really switched and became like insufferable for a couple seasons. And now with Rinna gone, like I'm like, oh, she's hysterical again. Like I love her.
God, does that mean we have to break up? Are we toxic with each other? Is that what that is? This is our last phone call.
That just means we have to pivot, which means I have to become Rinna and you have to be Harry Hamlin. Or vice
Oh my
versa.
God, but she's becoming Harry Hamlin. Have you seen photos recently?
I mean, she's always kind of been Harry Hamlin.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm like, you're a little obsessed with yourself, and that's why you married Harry.
I mean,
when Harry met Sally, when Harry met Rinna. Okay, look, we got to do a speed round because I didn't realize we were doing so well and not so well on time. Okay, let me get to it. So, what was I going to say? What was I going to pivot to? Oh yeah, Sex in the City. You just mentioned Sam. Who do you think you are on Sex in the City? Okay, because I'm rewatching it right now, and my opinion has changed in myself. So I'm excited for yours.
It's so funny because usually when somebody asks me that, I say like I'm a golden girl, not a girl from Sex in the City.
No,
like,
totally. We're totally the Golden Girls, 100%.
But if I had to pick a Sex in the City character, I am going to pick Samantha, but like not because of like the like nothing to do with the sex life.
Her sex life really isn't that crazy while I'm rewatching it.
It's not.
It's not.
But like I think I'm her because like again, the Black Cat energy, but like loves her friends, like is not afraid to like give it to a bitch. And like my friend sent me this meme on Instagram the other day. She's like, "This is so you." I was like, "It is." And it's the scene where like Charlotte's crying at the baby shower saying she stole my baby name, and Samantha to the random woman goes, "You bitch." Like that's me. Like,
that is you. That's 100% you. No, you're such a Sam.
Who are you?
I'm Miranda. Oh my God, not the alarm going off as I say that. It's like signs from the universe. Yes, you are. They're like, look, your hair is always a mess, but you know what? You have your own career and ambition, and the men don't really fit into it, so you're eating cake by yourself. I mean, we know she gets married and stuff later, but like, I'm the beginning, Miranda. Okay, we're going to do rapid fire. We've got like 3 minutes on the clock. Here we go. You ready for this? All right. Restaurant, name a restaurant that you are.
Oh God, TGI Fridays.
We're gonna give no reason behind any of this. We're just gonna go for it, and we're probably dragging ourselves. Fast food chain, which I would argue TGIF is almost a fast food chain. But what's your fast food chain that you are?
Oh God, McDonald's.
Wendy's. Okay, I'm naming me, not you. Cosmetic, because they're both. It's a little shady, and they shade each other, and it's fun. Cosmetic store.
Oh, Sephora.
Oh, yeah, I'm Ulta. Okay, well, I'd like to think I'm an Ulta. I'm not actually. Type of makeup that you are. Like, are you eyeliner? Are you lip liner? Are you lip gloss? What are you?
Ooh, I'm a brow pencil.
You are? You are. Because you're like an accent mark on any moment.
I need the arch. I need the
arch.
I need brow arches.
There's a theme here. I might have to reintroduce you as Ronald McDonald because you're talking about like the arches of McDonald's, the arch of the eyebrow, the arc of the covenant. No, okay, anyway, because you did talk about that church that was like sort of a school, which we need to talk about that at another time because what the heck? Okay, if you were one reality TV show, what would it be?
The Simple Life.
You know what? We really are Nicole and Paris. You're more Paris, I'm more Nicole, I think.
You bitch.
I knew you wanted it the other way around. I said, I'm not doing this. I am not being in Paris today. Yeah, we're going to end there because that's how you can't top it. I mean, that's just it. That's the moment. That is the moment. I love you. We'll be right back.
And now a little word from my mother. For 60 seconds, she doesn't get a full hour, remember? Timer.
Hi, everyone. This is Linda LaFaye, and I've always got something to say. Today's topic is about laundry. Do you sort your laundry before you wash it? Did you know that you should do that? And let me just say, you need to know this if you do not. There are certain items that you're washing, like your wash rag, and you use it on your 3 Fs. That thing needs some special care, as do your unders. Those items, which are a daily change requirement, simply need hot water. And of course, your red shirt needs cold water. In order to make that work, you need to sort the light colors from the dark. Basically, light colors can wash in hot or warm water, and the dark in cold. Can you mix up everything and wash in cold? Sure. You can also put ketchup on a cookie. You can put salt in your coffee. It's all food. How does it taste? Did you know your skin sheds and that part of the reason you need to wash your sheets is due to this fact? You need to sanitize an item and you need to wash it in the hottest water that doesn't ruin it. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I hope you are. Sort your laundry, please. You're welcome.
That was my mom, and here's my dad.
Hey, Adam. It's Dad. Guess what?
Well, he hung up. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I forget how to record every single time, and I love it. Okay, great. We never learn. I'm like a caveman. Okay, when you're in a conversation that you want to back out of, like probably this one, what do you hear in your head?
When I want to back out of one or like it's bad, I'm like, oof, we need to go. You know, like there's like, it's so funny. There's a trend on TikTok going on around about it now, but like 90s sitcom, like, oh, you were hiding in the closet and you heard your friends say something about you. And it's like, like that really
What?
dramatic, or it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just at this party and someone handed me a cigarette and I'm scared. And it's like,
Oh my God, I love it so much.
if I'm like, why am I here? Get me out. That's what I hear.
You know what, Shelby, you're always the epitome of youth, and that is what I love about this friendship. So Gen Z.
Yeah, from when I lived it the first time,
Right. Exactly.
years ago.
So today's topic, you were talking about pivoting, when you've got expectations in life and you pivot out of them and you make this whole new trajectory for yourself, this whole new idea of what life could be. Why was that something that you even pitched to me? Like, that's not something that I would have guessed for you, so I'm excited to dive into that. That's not something I know about in our friendship.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, like I have like my life, I look at it split into very like two different like times. It was like pre Los Angeles and then like mid Los Angeles to like post, like where I am now. And like growing up, all I had ever wanted to do was move to Los Angeles, be an actress. Like I wanted to write comedy. I wanted to win an Oscar. Like this was like life plan, was in every single play, was in like was performing for my friends, my parents. Like I walked around like thinking I was like a one woman comedy show and like always tried to make people laugh. And it was like honing a craft. Like it wasn't just like I'm being silly. Like I had a very business mindset about it.
Yeah, period. Were you trying to be like on sketch comedy? Did you think you were going to go the SNL route or like sitcoms?
I didn't want to be on SNL, but I did want, it was on the bucket list to host.
Me too. That's how I feel about it.
It was because I wanted the Oscar. And
Yep.
so I like had planned my whole life to do that. And when I was 22, like I moved to LA, I had worked full time after high school for years, saving up enough money to like go and do this. And I got to LA and very quickly realized like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. Like really getting that, kind of wake up call, or just that the other things in my life that I really want, I won't be able to have trying to pursue this. And kind of coming to the realization that like what I thought I wanted, I had this very specific view on how that looked and how it was going to come to me, and kind of being face to face of like everything I'm going to have to give up to have that, and like how much of my life I was going to have to give up to try to pursue those things. And I think deep down, like I knew like maybe I need to do something else. Like maybe this isn't it, but I was just very much like resistant to letting that go, because my whole identity, my entire life was this. Everyone knew I was going to go do this. Like I had talked about this for years. It was like, it was my personality, essentially. Like my personality became this thing I wanted to do. And like separating this sort of like vision for my life opposed to like me actually having to live my life and be satisfied with my life was really hard to do. And so I,
Sounds heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah, it was really hard. And even like when I got into my, my career now, I always had the idea of like, well, as long as I live in LA, I can always go back to it. Like I can always, maybe one day I'll go back to it. And I, lived in LA for 6 years and very much mostly stayed there because even though when I was not actively pursuing it anymore, I was still like, but I'm here. And if I go, that means it's final and it's done. And like, I'm not trying to do it anymore. And that's gonna be something I have to move on from. And like, I think truly like it comes with a lot of times age. Like I left LA when I was 29 years old and I felt very settled to do it at that point. But for like my entire 20s, like I really struggled with, letting go of something that I thought I wanted and I'd made so much my personality, and feeling like, am I going to be a failure if I stop this? And, really like having to pivot that mindset of like, the only thing you're like letting go of is all the other opportunity to do things in your life, because that this is wrong. Like, that this is not the right fit, or, what you maybe want is the creativity. Maybe what you want is to be funny and do fun things. And, it's the essence of what I wanted was the same. It just wasn't the career path to do it. And so really having to like switch that mindset of if I give this thing up, I give all of this up, and it was all for nothing, instead of, no, I'm older now, I'm wiser now. I realized what I wanted maybe wasn't necessarily this thing, and it was all the things that come with it.
You know, what's interesting is I didn't know this about you. Like, I mean, we've talked about comedy stuff before, but I didn't know to the extent that that was a goal of yours. And I feel like a bad friend that I haven't dug deeper on our friendship to know that. I mean, I met you when you had already moved to Nashville. So I thank you for sharing that, because I honestly didn't know it. And it makes me sad a little, because like if we had been here together, I would have been writing stuff for us. And I think it's always it doesn't have to be a forever a no, but it was a no for then. Do you feel like it could still happen, or are you over it now?
I'm not so much as over it. I think, like, again, as I've like gotten older, it was, what I really wanted was, I really wanted to be creative. I really wanted to create things. I love making people laugh. Like, if I make somebody laugh at a conference, like if we're talking and you laugh at something I say, it's like the biggest like high to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, especially when it's someone I think is funny is laughing, or someone who's like maybe hard to make laugh and they laugh. Oh my God, there's nothing better than that.
Oh yeah, give me a sardonic person. As I can't say that, I need a thesaurus, but like give me someone serious and I make them laugh. What a win.
Nothing is better than if you're like in an Uber with your friend and you're just going back and forth in the back seat, and you see in like the rearview mirror, like the Uber driver just like start cracking.
Oh my God, that is like the Olympics, which is coming up, but like that is like the true Olympics right there for us.
100%. So like, I do think that there is still, like, I know for certain that like, this is not like, I'm not at the last step of like career. There's things that I want to do. Like, I want to be creative. I want to figure out a way to like bind that all together. But I am settled with the fact that like, it's not going to be, it's not going to be living in Los Angeles like I thought it was. It's not going to be, going to auditions every day and, doing whatever it takes to make it work. And, because there's other things that I want, like I want to have a family. And like, that was something that like, when you're doing that, like, that's what you're doing. Like, you can't take away time to do that. And so I was like, okay, like, what can I live without? It was kind of like what I had to start with. And once I got clear about what I couldn't live without, it became easier to be like, okay, how can you still get these things that you're associating with this, but have a fuller life for me that included other things other than just the job.
God, we live in such a sexist society, because no one would ever tell a man like you can't have a family, and have a career and chase it. It is difficult though, but like that is so sexist of our society to do that. It's insane.
Well, yeah. And it's also just like, even for me, like I knew for me personally that like I was not going to be able to do it in the way that I wanted to. Like, and
it's hard to focus with both. Yeah.
And so I was just like, you know what, like what I like so much admire the people that like can work the 3 jobs and live out of their cars and do all of these things for the hope that maybe one day they'll get a guest spot, and they audition for 10 years, 15 years before they get, a 3-minute spot on something. And I realized I was like, that can't be me. Partially because I'm a Leo, and I'm just going to be like,
I'd be like, what co-star? Excuse me, you meant star.
I knew that like, I was like, it's the struggle and the things you sacrifice are worth it to some people. And I like commend them for that, and that their ability to do that. I knew that wasn't me. And so I knew that I had to be real about that and it not accept it as a failure. Because in my head, I'm like, you're choosing not to do this.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely not a failure. There's nothing failure about that.
No, and I, I still to this day say like, if I stuck with it and I, really did like go full force into it, I have no question that I would have succeeded in a way that I wanted to. But it wasn't worth it for me in my life. It didn't fit for me in my life to do that. So I can't, I can't hold on to a what if or what could have been, because that's not my life.
And what ifs are really toxic, honestly. You can get caught up in the spin of, that sort of tangent universe where I went, where I could have been, and it's not worth it. Where you are, you have to be happy with, which you seem like you're thriving. Yeah, I know the hesitation there. You're like, I don't know, but we'll get into it in a second. I want to know, what was the reason, like what what was the catalyst? What made you decide that it was time to switch, time to pivot?
Yeah, I mean, I have, I'm so grateful that I was in LA for as long as I was, because it gave me a career, it gave me amazing friendships. Like, I would not be where I am today if I wasn't there for as long as I was. Like, my life would look very different now if I had left earlier, which I had wanted to do over and over again for years. I think for me, really the thing that forced me into like the pivoting out of that and made me like come to the realization, like, you already know the answer to this, but now it's forcing you to do it, is COVID. Like, I made so many excuses for why I had to stay in LA. Like, I work in office, my career only exists here. Like, and this was before people were working from home. And so it kind of kept me anchored there. And as long as I was anchored there, I still had like, was holding on to this dream where like, well, tomorrow I could be discovered at Starbucks, or like I could like, something could happen, or like something could change, or I could change my mind, or I could start doing stand up and do really well, and then my life takes off. And I think like when COVID happened and we were no longer in office and I was in my apartment, and I had 2 roommates at the time, and I was so in a place of like I didn't even leave my room. Like, I didn't even leave my room. I felt very stuck there. And I realized like, okay, we're not going back to the office. Like, you are not happy here. Like, you have your amazing friends. Your job isn't tying you here. Like, so it is the friends. And I felt very confident in like the friends that I had there. I'm still friends with to this day. They're my family. I love them. I will be friends with them.
They're very, very loyal. So that was a no-brainer.
I will be friends with my LA friends like to the day I die, hands down. So I knew I was like, that can't keep me tied here either. And I missed my family. I had been, away from my family at that point for 6 years. I didn't want to be away anymore.
Where are they now? Where does your family live?
My parents and my brother, they live in Maryland still. My sister, she lives in the Chicago area currently. But I'm an East Coast girl. That's where I grew up.
East Coast girlies.
And I couldn't be any further if I tried, when I was living in LA. And so I just was like, you know what? I miss my family. I feel like, I've lived life here. I've done it. I lived my 20s. I have no regrets about like what I've been able to do here. Some people don't even stay in Los Angeles for 6 days when they move there.
You were here for 7 years.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I had never visited California until the day I like walked off the plane, like that I moved there. I never did like a pre-visit.
Shelby, that is so bold.
It's insane. But I was 22, and like, I think I was just kind of like, I was just like, okay, well, it's either shit or get off the pot. You got to go to LA. And I did. And I just stayed there because luckily for me now.
Did you just like pack a bag and just show up?
No, I sent a pod.
But like you sent the pod without ever like coming here and visiting and finding a place and all that stuff?
I met my roommates through like a family friend. And so we would like talk on the phone, but like I never met them in person. And we all found like the apartment on the internet, and they went and saw it in person, and they like secured it. And they moved in, and like I was like, cool, I'll be flying in on such and such date. So I had the apartment, I had the roommates, but I didn't have a job. I had never visited. Like,
wow,
pretty much completely blind.
Don't you wish you had that chutzpah, for lack of a better word? At 22, you can just do whatever. You're so ballsy. You're like, yes. I mean, I miss that a little bit about my own self.
I think like I've always been so anxious that like, I actually probably could have moved to Los Angeles a lot earlier than I did, but I was so anxious, so nervous. And like, I am somebody where it's just like, I just have to do it. Like, whatever it is, whatever I want to do, there's never going to be, like, I mean, I tell people this to this point now, like, yes, at, almost 32, like I'm very comfortable in myself and a lot more confident, but like, still I have that anxiety. And I just tell people like, you're never going to be ready for anything. Like, if you want to do something and the opportunity is there, it's just a matter of when you're going to do it. Like, if the opportunity is there, it's there for you to take it. But if you're waiting for some sign, like the sign is that you want to do it and the opportunity is there. That's the only sign you're going to get. You're not going to get a fucking flock of birds flying from a bush, like spelling out, do it in the sky. Like, And if that happens, run. Like that sounds terrifying. But like
What in the Alfred Hitchcock is happening in that visual? I love it.
birds. But I like truly like that's kind of how I did it then, was just like I didn't think too much into it. I was like, I'm scared and I guess I'm doing this, and like, okay, well, I've met these people and I told them I'm moving in, so I guess I have to move there now. Like that was very it. And like I don't want to discredit myself. Like, yes, that's like a brave thing to do, but like I wasn't thinking of it as I can do this and
No.
yeah.
But as your friend, if you're ever having a moment of doubt, I hope you play that back in your mind, that like fear versus failure, it didn't win out. You just went for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's just like, that's kind of how everybody has to be. It's like, obviously there are things that you can do in life that are like the wrong choice. Like,
Sure.
Murder, hard drugs.
I knew we were going to start with murder. I knew we were going to start there.
Like, racketeering. But like, there's obviously things in life that are the wrong thing to do. But outside of that, I think people are so concerned with making the wrong choice. And I've definitely been this before. Like, what if I choose the wrong job, or I choose to move to the wrong place, or what if I choose the wrong relationship, or what if I, what if I do something, think thing, and it's not. And and I've definitely been like that a lot in the past. And the way you have to look at it now is that like, if you do it, you did it for a reason. Everything you do in life, you don't have the thoughts for no reason. You don't have the inclinations, or you're not inspired for no reason. You don't meet people for no reason. You don't have opportunities for no reason. Even if it's not the end game, you're supposed to have it for something. And so even me looking at it, like, Los Angeles was not the final stop like I thought it would be. Acting was not the final stop like I thought it would be. My life there, that I thought I was moving there and never coming back, didn't pan out. But everything I have now, like friendships, my professional life, like experiences, I would not have those things that will keep me going and keep me propelled for the rest of my life if I didn't do that thing. And so maybe I thought it was the acting that I was supposed to be there for, but really it was to collect pieces on the way to go somewhere else in life.
I love that pivot. And I love that you weren't paralyzed by anxiety and it didn't stop you from being where you are now. I mean, all of that did lead up to where you are. It's like you took these breadcrumbs and you built a cake.
Yeah, the Zoloft helps, but it
does. It really does. It really does. Lexapro over here, honey. So, and a little bit of gabapentin. I highly recommend. Little. That's my breadcrumb. My breadcrumb cake is like pills.
Just shaking the bottle.
Shaking it up. So when you did decide to move, had you visited Nashville beforehand, or did you do the same thing again?
So a little bit. So I had made a list of like kind of 3 places I would want to live. Again, none of them I was super familiar with, but like I had like the age of social media, you see a lot, you see people living there, you think it's interesting. So I was interested in Nashville as number 1. For a brief minute, like Dallas, which makes
gosh, I think everyone in LA had a moment where they were like, Texas ? Texas.
And then also I had considered the Carolinas, so either Charleston or Charlotte.
Which is dear to my heart because I'm a North Carolinian, but I'm glad you didn't choose that.
I met my boyfriend who lives in Charlotte, by accident. So like all these places were like, maybes. And I was still living in LA at the time, and I had like a long weekend that I was gonna go back home for a friend's wedding. And I thought, like, what if I stop in Nashville for like 2 days and just see it and see if I like it? And I was piss drunk the entire time. Like, I mean, I was not looking at apartments. I was not doing any sort of recon. I was a mess. Like I was on Broadway, like in my big wide brimmed hat, like trash mess. But like
from one Broadway to the next.
Right. But I was like, you know what? Like when I, then came back time to like figure out where am I going to live, I was like, I really did like it. Like it was a fun weekend. And so like, was it an informed decision? Not really.
But you like the vibe.
I like the vibe, and it's very much like what I like about Nashville is its nickname is Little Big Town. It's one of its nicknames. If you ever heard of the band, that's where
I thought that was the band. That's like actually the name.
So that's where like the name comes from. It's like Nashville is considered.
Oh my God, the city better sue them.
Right? Hello, litigation.
A litigation.
The wrong choice. But yeah, so it's like it's the only part that really feels like a city is like the downtown kind of area. And then everything outside of that is very like residential. It's like very like neighborhoody, like it's very like livable. So it was like a happy medium. Me coming from like a smaller town in like rural southern Maryland to Los Angeles, which could not be any more like different, to like somewhere now kind of in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I really didn't do much actual research.
Yeah, you're very bold on your moves, which I love.
It's worked out so far, but I really need to stop. Like I
No,
need to.
I mean, don't you feel happy where you are though? I mean, based on our previous conversations, you like Nashville.
I do. I really do love it. It's been like I've just like I just feel so much like lighter energy for myself here. And like again, like I am not trying to like kick dirt on LA because I know people who love it and even grew up.
No, but it's what works for you. I don't care about the other 7 million people.
Right. It never felt like home to me. I never felt settled. Like when I was at my apartment, I never called my apartment home. Like that's something my mom said to me. She's like, when you lived in LA, we were on the phone, you were at the grocery store, you say, I'm on my way back to the apartment. I'm back to the apartment. I'm going back to the apartment. Or like, if I was visiting home, I would call Maryland home, but then I'd be like, I got to go back to LA. I have to go back to the apartment. And then like when I'm here, I'm still in an apartment, but when I'm on the phone, I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way home. And I was like, you never called your apartment home in LA. Like
That is so key that your mom picked up on that.
yeah, like you were completely disassociated with it. Like it was just this place that you had a bedroom. Like you did not look at that as your home. She's like, but you will literally say like, I'm going home. And like, so it's nice to have that like comfort here.
Yeah, and don't you feel so much better also because now you don't have roommates, you're able to live by yourself? Isn't that so helpful?
I will be doing turning trysts behind a McDonald's to pay for rent before I ever.
McDonald's is back, honey. The Archers are here, and we're high and thriving.
I will be like I listen. I tell anybody at this point, if you can afford it, safely to do it, and like have good quality of living in life, please live alone. It will be the best times of your life. Like every day it's truly like a scene from a movie. Like this sounds like kind of sad, but like, do you know that scene from J-Lo's The Wedding Planner and she comes home and she's like watching like Antique
Not a
Roadshow,
J-Lo reference right now, really.
opens like her little like TV tray dinner and she like watches it and just eats it by herself and pours a glass of wine. Like that is every night. And it's just kind of like picturesque that you just are like, oh my God, every night I get to be completely alone in my space and like sit on the couch without feeling like awkward. Someone's gonna walk by.
Yeah,
like,
or judge. Like it helps with my anxiety a lot. Does it help you with that?
yes. And also like I realized that like I'm such an aesthetics driven person. So like my home, like
Apologies in advance for what you're seeing here.
I look like I live in a Crate and Barrel catalog. Like there is void of color, but like it's just I love it just being so put together, like so, and like clean and just all my things, and it's the way I want to look like it. I literally looked like I was living in a swap meet in LA, not because my apartment wasn't nice. It was a nice apartment that was updated, but you had 3 girls who for and roommates changed over the 6 years. It wasn't even all of us together, and it became a of furniture and mixed toned woods and like things that look like you got them at Claire's. And I was like, I hate this so much that I wouldn't like, that was another reason I didn't come out of my room. It's because I'm like, ugh, God, it's ugly out there. Like it's ugly and giving poor out there. And I would just stay in my room.
I mean, I don't blame you. If it's aesthetically not pleasing, I don't want to be present for it.
Nope, couldn't be me.
And no wonder you didn't call it your house. It wasn't your vibe. It wasn't your energy.
Yeah, it didn't feel like mine. And so like that is like truly like living alone for anybody. Again, like it's not scary to live alone. I think that was like I had a moment of being like, oh, can I live alone? Like, yes, lock the door. Like you're fine. Like it's not scary to do it. It's not some crazy big responsibility. Like it truly is the best thing you can do for yourself, especially like for people who are like in relationships.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
where you live alone for sure. Have that time because you will never get it back when you get married, you have kids, like you're never going to have that, whatever it is. So like as long as you are single, live alone.
I love that you like living alone because as a Leo, traditionally, you don't like to live alone. Like you want energy of others around you, but it's nice that you can introvert. Are you liking the introverting portion of it?
I do I'm very weird. It's a lot of people would consider me like extroverted. If they meet me, they're like, oh, you're such an extrovert. And I'm actually not. Like I am an introvert. Like I love being alone. Like my answer is always yes. Like if you ask me to go do something, I'm always going to say yes. Like, but I never make the plan. Like I could rot in my home if you let me, like a fully like hoarder style rot in my home. And I like if you let me do it, but also I will go out and do things. So it does like it is really nice because I do enjoy it a lot. But yeah, I do have people like kind of having to pull me out of my home like to do things and be social, which keeps me going.
Good. Oh, you've got such a good balance of things going on. I'm so excited to hear that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But it's been fun. It's been fun. It's definitely different. Like I did not think I was, this was gonna be like I didn't think like anything where my life is right now was gonna be where it is, like at all. Like nothing. Everything is the exact opposite of how I thought it would be, just in every area. But it's working.
Oh, look at her. She's putting in the time, the money, the effort, honey, and it's coming on back. You are literally live, laugh, love. That's your era that you're in right now.
I'm burning that sign.
Yeah, I hate that I said that. That was not a good reference. That is a
I'm burning it
terrible,
down.
that is
I'm
a
burning
terrible
it
way to get out of the episode. I'm so sorry in advance. That is literally how I'm going to end the episode. I'm dead.
What a doll. Isn't Shelby such a doll? I mean, I had to call her the doll from Twilight specifically because she is one. She's just, I love her. Don't you love her? And what I really loved about the conversation that we had today is that so often we daydream, we dream about what we're going to do when we get older. You can plan all day. You can plan and think what you're going to do, who you're going to be, where you're going to be during it, all of that. And life often, because of that, will throw a wrench in those plans. You have to look within and you have to see what's really aligned today. What you dreamed up yesteryear may no longer align with today. And I hope that it's easier for you out there. I hope that you're not having wrenches thrown at you. But if the universe is giving you just a hint of this might not be the lane that you need to be in, well, guess what? You can change lanes. You don't have to stay in this lane. Who said you needed to be in this lane in the first place? Actually, you're not in a car. You're your own body. Hello, plot twist. Pivot. You're not a tree. You can get up. You can move, whether it's to a physically different city or what. This is an example right here that what you dream up may not actually be the thing that's going to bring you joy. What actually might bring you joy is that you are a creative entity without that even being a career. Hopefully, if you want it to be your career, it can be. But there's creativity within you, and you can use that throughout your life force in any way imaginable, whether it's just making people laugh on the daily in an Uber, or it's painting something just for yourself. Whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be the thing that you initially dreamed up. And that's what my agent tells me every day about this podcast. All right, anyway, enough of that. We're pivoting away. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. This has been so fun, and I hope that these 2 episodes will serve as a really great foundation for what is a great season. What we've got lying ahead of us is 32 total episodes, so there's 30 more of these hours that we'll have together. 32 hours together. Doesn't that sound like the perfect amount of time for a new work week schedule instead of 40, which really ends up being 60? Because let's be honest, nobody's working 40 hours a week. Everybody's working way more than that. So yeah, let's work towards 32. 32 is a great number. It also happens to be my age. A lady should never reveal her age. Oh, please. We're blessed to have another year, aren't we? And 32 is very young. I'm in my prime. I'm going to stay at 32 for the next 64 years. I'm actually 811 years old. That's why I'll be dropping my skincare routine pretty quickly. It does involve having to eat people, but, whatever. Vampires got to do what a vampire's got to do. Did you know that Edward Cullen was loosely based off of me? Very loosely. Very, very loosely. She doesn't give me credit, but I can theme an episode after myself. Whenever you say Team Edward, you're actually saying Team me. Little known fact. I hope you stick around for all the wonderful vantage points we get on people who have very different backgrounds, but a lot of commonality with each other and a creative force within. That's the tether. You know, next week we've got someone who designs video games for a living, and at Christmas we've got a plumber who DJs. I'm giving you range. Sure, great time to plug the show, of course. Thank you, Chris Cappuccino, for bringing that up, even though you're not here. Ranges. We've got ranges of what? Jobs, emotions, topics. You know, it doesn't just always lean in on the comedy, even though probably nobody's laughing at anything I'm saying right now anyway, so that's good. This is a drama. Pretend I'm in a K drama right now. But the K wouldn't be for Korean. It would be like K, like you text somebody K as in like stop talking. So yeah, there's a wide array of skill sets that people are bringing to the table on this show, but always at the forefront, it is that you are creative. No matter what you do for work, no matter how you make money, you're a creative, and we have to feed our creative spirit. And, you know, today's episode was a great example of listening creatively, because I'm so sorry that my microphones are bad. If you want to Venmo me money to up the quality of that, if it bothered you that much, yeah, you can throw some money my way, huh? Do that. Now, you may be thinking, Adam, you know what? You really should have redone this episode, or maybe just not release it, you know, because the sound quality on your end is really embarrassing. You know, no, it's a low budget podcast, and I want you to be aware of where I'm coming from so that all of us other poor folk can relate to me immediately. So you're welcome. We're all on the same level for now, but this is going to have a huge upstart journey for myself. I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting. This is going to be high budget, high stakes, totally unrelatable, big time celebrity by the end of this. That's the goal, right? Like you absolutely being in a different tax bracket than all of you peasants and just not at all relating to you anymore. Can't wait for that. That was a joke. I'm clearly joking. Shelby, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I'm sorry that my sound quality was so bad. You deserve to have nothing distracting going on. You gave a lot of great content here, and I apologize that you had all to endure the quality that I had. This show is a family affair. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. You know, I'm so blessed to have my mom and dad on the show. Love them so much. Don't you? They're so fun. You can see where my personality comes from. Hello, it's in the genetics. And they're little stars, so I'm glad to feature them in all of their wonderful talents. Now, also, we've mentioned that I'm going to have 32 total episodes, so it's going to go up until the twins' birthday. And who are the twins, you may ask? Well, you should know. They are my brother and my sister, and we're going to end right at their birthday and give them a huge shout out on that episode. So we're the whole thing is involving my family, whether or not they're involved in the show itself directly. I will reference them sometimes, including two really major events. And of course, now everyone is like making a lot of noise around me. Sorry that this isn't soundproof. I'm just like starting the episode strongly not great audio, and I'm going to end it strongly not great audio too. But there were some bits in the middle that you weren't distracted, right? Well, I might have been, but hopefully you weren't. So, two really great things happened this week, and we have to give them a shout out because the show is a family event, and I want you to feel part of our familia. So, here we go. First and foremost, it is my sister Kat's birthday. Everybody give her a big birthday wish. Another year around the sun. We love you so much. And last but not least, second announcement here. Drum roll, please. My mother just retired. That is right. Linda LaFaye has something to say, and she's going to be saying a lot more in her retirement days. We can't wait to hear everything she's got to say. Isn't she so fun? Everybody send her that calm, peaceful, beach vibe energy that she so deserves. I don't know anyone that works harder than my mom. My dad also. Both of my parents are great examples at work. But my mom was accounting manager for a long time, total boss energy. Like, we're talking the actual Chris with a K that you would want every day. Like, she just great. I'm going to stop rhyming things with day now, I swear. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. It might be happening all week. So sorry for future episodes. But yeah, she is everything that I aspire to be work-wise. My work drive comes from her. I don't achieve it. Like, she definitely is the hardest working person I've ever met. And I hope that I continue to have that rub off on me and as inspiration, because she inspires me every day. And I'm hoping that a little bit of my like beach vibe, sort of quirky, I don't want to say laziness, but my, you know, a little bit more of like, hey, let's take a moment to relax and unwind, energy can rub off on her more. I think we balance each other out in that way. She's a little yin to my yang. Speaking of, I'd like to go unwind now. This is enough of my social battery. It is not drained. This definitely charges me up, but I do want to reset. So we're at an hour. we're going to cut it. Yeah, that's how we end it. And I will acknowledge that the episode went a little bit over, and that's okay. You've got an hour, and sometimes it's, I'm gifting you another 5 minutes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you got an hour with me. Aren't you so blessed? Oh, what in the narcissism? That's a bad joke. We're going to cut that. That's not going to make it in.